Hey folks, doing some work on the 03 Sportsman 500. I'm having a bit of an issue with the carburetor. I'm finding that I'm having to use a lot of choke to get it going, and once it gets going it needs to run on choke for quite a while, and then when you take it off choke, even using, like, give it a little bit of throttle and it bogs down, and it just takes a while for it to clear up, and it runs fine. So I figured, well, the only thing I haven't done on this one since I've bought it is gone through the carburetor. So we're going to do that today. So already I've taken the air box off. Fairly straightforward. I've taken out the breather, and as you can tell, I've already undone the bolts here. It just dropped off the collar. But I've taken the breather off for the belt, and also the breather obviously for the air box. And also I've undone, there's two bolts you undo that hold the carburetor in place right here. So I've undone that, and I've done the collar on the back on the manifold, so now the carburetor is able to come out, as you can tell. So the next step after that is you obviously unhook your fuel lines, your vent lines, and you pull on your throttle cable. You should have enough slack to pull it out, and then just flip it over like this. Now, once you get it over, there'll be a plate on here. This is where your throttle cable goes in, right here. There'll be a plate. Undo the plate. There'll be like a little O-ring. And in here, the cable goes through this end, and it feeds over this way. And the cable, the end of a cable, has got one of these right here. You should be able to, hopefully you can see that. So you push that out. It sits in here. So what you do is you take a screwdriver, try to run it along the side here and get some of the slack from the cable, and then you pop this out right here, which is this little thing. I think it's a throttle guide, it's called. And once you've done that, now this is free. You can't feed this through that little hole here where the cable is. So what you need to do next is, let me put the carburetor aside here so I can show you guys. I'm just going to set it down here. So this here sits on this cable right here in the end. In the end of this cable there's like a little knob, I guess you could say, and it sits in this little recess in here. So what you do is you push the cable through here from this end. You push that little knob out and you just pull the cable through that little slot. Then you'll be able to pull your cable from outside of this. And on the other side, your choke, fairly simple. It just screws into this one here. It's just a plunger type choke. Right here, as you can tell, just screws in. Just unscrew it, take it out, and that's it. And I recommend that you put a clean rag or something like that, or a piece of paper towel inside your manifold so nothing goes into the engine. So that's basically it for the carburetor. Take it out. It's not difficult. Takes a little bit of time. I mean, it took me a while there to figure it out a little bit, because I haven't done one of these before. Like, I've worked on other carburetors, dirt bikes and whatnot, but never one on an ATV. So anyway, that's where it sits for now. I'm going to be taking it apart to check the jets and whatnot. I've got the manual. I downloaded the manual from online. It's pretty thick. I downloaded both, the user manual, owner's manual, and the one that the maintenance one, the mechanic one. As you can tell, it's a thick one. So I'm hoping in there somewheres it tells me what the jet sizes are, because I'm hoping nobody's fooled around with this carburetor. It is, after all, an 03. I'm not too sure how many owners I've had this thing. I think I'm the second owner. But the previous owner, hopefully, didn't fool around with it, change jets or whatnot. So the next step will be to take this thing apart, lay out all the parts, and start going through the jets, clean them all out, and get some carb cleaner, and hopefully that does a trick. And then reassemble it, and we'll go from there.